Well, Joel, I can't understand why everybody's so upset about losing their heads. What's so bad about that? I've seen Servo's head on the workbench lots of times.
Yeah, it screws right off. It's a pop top.
Throughout the 90s, early aughts, and even into the mid-2000s, laughter reigned supreme on Comedy Central.
Okay.
With adult animation classics, offbeat live-action faves, and truly outrageous stand-up specials, it was ground zero for all things comedy. But then, the channel's status as the go-to spot for original humor came to a grinding halt. Without an original hit or buzzworthy show in quite some time, many are left wondering, whatever happened to Comedy Central?
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a
Because Comedy Central produced a number of TV staples like South Park, The Daily Show, and Reno 911, it's easy to forget just how off-the-wall these shows really are. The core programming for the channel is often based on material that smashes television standards. Although The Man Show and Drunk History had the sleek sheen of a professional program, when you really think about it, these concepts and results are downright insane. Back before Comedy Central was Comedy Central, the network was actually two different channels. The Comedy Channel, owned by HBO parent company Time Life, originally helmed by former HBO analyst Art Bell, the Comedy Channel bore little resemblance to the programming we came to know and love. Bizarre sports recaps, middling late-night talk shows, and sketchy low-budget originals. One particularly lazy offering, a clip show called Short Attention Span Theater, had a vast and unexpected influence on TV programs to come. Despite the Comedy Channel's weak programming in the early days, Art Bell did have the foresight to acquire a show that would bring in his channel's first hardcore group of fans. Mystery Science Theater 3000, a low-budget, one-of-a-kind comedy show featuring a ragtag cast of talking robots and a dry-humored spaceman. The show was perhaps the first sign of comedy's future on TV.
Oh, good one. Okay, there you go. All right, yeah. Okay, well, that's the end of the experiment, you guys. Hope you're happy.
Arriving on April Fool's Day of 1990, Ha! Began airing as a standalone comedy channel. Backed by the MTV Networks group, the Ha channel did little to catch anyone's attention. Meanwhile, over at the Comedy Channel, things were only getting stranger. Created by Mystery Science Theater 3000 founder and star Joel Hodgson, The Higgins Boys and Gruber was a deranged sketch show that began airing on the Comedy Channel. The improvised dialogue, chain smoking, and a serious slacker attitude was an early indicator of just how surreal the Comedy Channel was willing to get under Art Bell's direction. Even when it was time to cut to a commercial break, the bizarre humor did not let up. With the first credited appearances of the SNL classic Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy, Handy's segments ran alongside standard ads, creating a truly disruptive atmosphere. After just a couple years of mutually low ratings, the Comedy Channel and Ha decided to consolidate their losses and tied the knot in 1991. The joint ownership between MTV and HBO was officially dubbed Comedy Central. Complete with their now iconic logo, the channel took shape as a hybrid of both of its predecessors, but success still remained outside of their grasp. Although the trusty sci-fi satire of Mystery Science Theater 3000 kept the ship running, many of Comedy Central's early shows missed the mark. The Daily Show, originally featuring host Craig Kilborn, arrived to low interest. Meanwhile, Bill Maher's Politically Incorrect had a whirlwind debut that resulted in a vicious takeover by ABC.
Please, don't hit me.
Taking a cue from his time at HBO, Art Bell took a serious interest in stand-up specials from the get-go. His former company was already known as the channel for both burgeoning and superstar comedians, but Comedy Central established itself as a place that put the spotlight on total unknowns. With specials and regular features, comedians from all walks of life got their first taste of exposure through shows like Women Aloud and Out There. It was not until 1997 that an adult-oriented cartoon brought Comedy Central to the masses. South Park came out the gate with a bang. Within a year of South Park's first episode, the channel's viewership exploded. Originally a less popular addition to pricey cable packages, South Park's word-of-mouth spread and subscribers began requesting Comedy Central en masse. And by 1998, the channel was available to over half of the cable consumers in America. Backed by a legitimate national sensation, Comedy Central perhaps realized their wheels-off approach to humor had led them straight to the bank.
Did you hear that, dude? We still get $3,000. Can you guess?
And for a long time, that mindset served them well. Not forgetting their stand-up special roots, Comedy Central Presents became the new hub for comedians. Although The Daily Show had debuted in the earliest days of the channel's history, the sit-down satire fully formed with the emergence of a new host, Jon Stewart, in 1999. Speaking of Stewart's talents in those early days, Art Bell said, "When you saw Jon Stewart talking to the camera, he had a really good combination of smarts and funny and humanity that was really unique, and I knew it would work beautifully." With a pronounced political attitude and biting takedowns of popular topics, Stewart soon gained a reputation as a strangely legitimate source of news. Supported by the eventual spin-off of The Colbert Report and a number of other reality-based shows like Insomniac with Dave Attell, Comedy Central clearly catered to more than just cartoons. The puppet-based prank calls of Crank Yankers, the proto-mock interview stylings of Primetime Glick, and reality show insanity of I'm with Busey, they all are looked back on fondly. In 2003, Comedy Central once again opened their doors to uncompromising sketch comedians. But unlike their newly acquired Saturday Night Live reruns and former UCB troops, Comedy Central's next sketch star operated alone. Chappelle's Show, debuting in early 2003, once again raised the bar for what was possible on television. Dave Chappelle, the show's mastermind and star, was like a one-man band of non-stop laughter throughout the series' 3-season run.
I'm Rick James. With the celebration.
For literal decades, it seemed as though nothing could stop Comedy Central from dominating the market for televised humor. Even as obscene animation competitors like Adult Swim entered the fray, South Park continued to prevail. And when basic cable sitcoms began ditching their laugh tracks for more surrealist avenues, Comedy Central seemed to always have a more extreme and hilarious answer, like Workaholics and Broad City. Instead of falling back on Chappelle Show reruns, the channel greenlit sketch comedy classics such as The Sarah Silverman Program and Key and Peele.
Now, last week, Steve used his transformation machine to turn Carl into a car and drive him around the Monaco Grand Prix. Come on! How many times are we gonna use this transformation machine?
Even as the company entered the dark ages that befell most cable networks in the dawn of streaming, Comedy Central still managed to give us star-making vehicles and endlessly rewatchable masterpieces like Nathan For You and Detroiters. But much like Bill Maher's quick departure for greener pastures back in the early years, modern Comedy Central stars often went on to bigger things.
That's no accident.
And with a slowly dwindling count of original programs, Comedy Central fans began to wonder if all the resources were being laid on the South Park Golden Goose. Once the forefront of TV comedy, the channel mostly ceased to operate outside of syndicated reruns and a handful of staples. Comedy Central is down to its last remaining relics. Even its stalwart South Park no longer resides purely on Comedy Central. Presented without ads on Comedy Central's parent company streamer Paramount Plus, the channel has become a shell of its former self. Now known for hosting reruns of Tosh.0 and one-time rival The Office, the dissolution of Comedy Central as an outlet for humor has left a massive hole in cable programming. While certainly not the only example of how streaming has harmed the entertainment industry as a whole,
Do what it says.
Play something.
Comedy Central's quick death is perhaps the most glaring. For those who remember the glory days of Secret Stash or a weekly original premiere, Comedy Central was as good as TV ever got. That's it for this week's episode. Do you miss the days of commercial-clogged cable TV? What was your favorite forgotten Comedy Central classic? Let us know in the comments, and as always,